Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Gemini. This is your March 2021 soul story. So if you have a sun, your rising, or your moon is in the sign, then you might find that this general reading just gives you a little bit of support by way of its insights and messages to help you navigate through the influences that are coming up. Now, the story of the stars for March are a little bit more positive than what we've been experiencing of late. We have far less clashes and less interference from the outer planets. We also have everything in direct motion except for a little shadow with Mercury retrograde in the first part of the month. So all of this means there's just going to be a little more opportunity to feel freer within your thinking and also to get plans put into motion. It should feel like a healing elixir in many areas of your life. And of course, Pisces season illuminates that 10th house of career and vocation, but also your energy signature, the legacy and imprint that you want to leave. We're opening up your reading with the Queen of Cups, and I think she's really indicating that beautiful Piscean energy and the opportunity for you to really harness some of the inner soul work, to be able to tune more effectively into your higher self, your intuitive gifts, and to unlock something that's going to help you to make sense perhaps of some of the parts of the jigsaw that have been a little bit haphazard or in a state of disarray or chaos of late. We have Mars moving into your sign on the 3rd of the month, Gemini. Mars is the god of war. And then on the 7th, we've got the asteroid goddess Pallas Athena entering Pisces. Athena, of course, is the goddess of war. Now, what it's going to do is really enable you to tap into your inner hero and to be able to drive something forward, have the impetus, the passion, and the wherewithal to use your wisdom and strategy to understand how that rebirth of the way in which you're moving through the world is really coming to fruition. But with the Queen of Cups energy and Athena in Pisces, there is this reminder that it's about being a lover, not a fighter. And we want to allow that beautiful healing undercurrent to help you to flow. Now, sometimes Pisces energy for you, Gemini, can feel a little bit nebulous, somewhat confusing, and maybe even have you doubting yourself at moments. But as soon as we make our way toward that equinox energy into Aries season, everything is going to get lit up really powerfully. So take what it is that is being gifted to you through Pisces season, because nothing really real has ever grown from a place of comfort. So there's something about the contrast energy and what you're experiencing in your path right now, something that sits within the ecstasy and the ache. That's where life is really changing. And the Queen of Cups says, let love be your guide in that instance, All of the relationships right now require a level of honesty, humility, compassion, and tolerance. And when you can come at it from a place of feeling more centered and grounded, and really understanding that March is a month when so much of your path is kind of getting on track by way of opening up what is destined and fated for you. Now, the Queen of Cups also may be a specific water sign that is in your sphere of influence through the course of this month, a Pisces, Cancerian, or Scorpio that just has a profound impact, whether they be male or female. And I feel like they're coming in with quite a healing energy, wanting to support, wanting to perhaps help you see the missing details, especially if there's some area of doubt or uncertainty that's coming in. Between the 7th and the 13th, as Athena enters Pisces and we make our way towards that new moon, it's a really magical time, and actually we want to harness the gifts that the Queen of Cups delivers for us, because she's a beautiful healing energy. And the way that we can reimagine some of the hopes and dreams to use the passion that's coming from Mars in our sign, Gemini, but also to do it from a place of deep understanding about how we soothe our own soul. That's what's really giving you the right energy and the right state of mind with which to be able to drive forward. Energy of the Chariot is saying you are going to succeed. You are going to overcome the obstacles. You are going to be able to tap into that deeper strength, that resiliency, that fire energy within. But of course the Chariot also links to the sign of Cancer, so we've got profound emotional energy working with you in that first part of the month. but it all, against all odds even, perhaps for some of you, you know, there is this sense of you being able to get to where you need to be through the course of this month. And remember, the Mars returns is a rebirth of understanding how you're moving through the world, and the Chariot is a movement card, you know, and perhaps people need to be reintroduced to you through the course of this month, Gemini. Who have you become? How have you changed? Where are you at? What are your values and beliefs? And how are you communicating and expressing that out? With Mercury moving into Pisces on the 15th, everything's going to come from a very heart-centered place, you know. I think you're also really looking in some regards for an understanding from someone, you know. Where do they sit? Where are they at? You know, and maybe even there's a sense of needing apologies or needing explanations, you know, but so often true apologies are really composed by way of actions and not words. And so I also see that you are, until such times that you're kind of seeing the evidence of something, you're really kind of keeping yourself in quite a protective, nurturing space. That sacred space is really important because it's helping you to define and, like we said, to kind of tap into the energy that you're going to need to move forward with something. There is a beautiful sense of synchronicity that's happening through the course of March, with some really beautiful trines that are going to be coming in to help support that evolution. And here we've got the Ten of Cups, just a reminder that actually what we're making our way towards is a path, a time, an experience, a moment that's going to bring about this peak emotional radiance for you. It's about a sense of completion, something coming to a point of fruition, and you being able to celebrate and being able to feel proud, being able to feel that you can even access like a deeper part of yourself, or even deeper into a specific relationship. Of course, we've got the full moon in Libra happening on the 28th of the month, and that's making a trine with your sign, with a special emphasis, of course, on relationships and how to harmonize and balance this out in your world. Now, the sun's going to move into Aries on the 20th, and it's the same day as the equinox happens. And so when this takes place, there is usually significant change that's going to transpire, initially from within, you know, that inner soul work that we've been focused upon. But then, of course, the beginning initiation of new plans that are going to be formed as a result of that. And what this is really saying to me is that be led by your heart, be led by those things that really make you feel emotionally content and make your soul feel fulfilled. There is a sense that perhaps some of you may even be moving away specifically from a water energy or from a version of the self that, you know, it's interesting because it's almost like, what did you feel was weak? Because there's something about moving away from a position of weakness to a position of strength. So it might not be necessarily a particular person you felt was weak, but something about a situation felt weak. But what I'm looking at is a rising energy that's coming in for you, Gemini, that's, you know, powered by love. Love is the guide of it. It is existing, coexisting between this ecstasy and this ache, but it's really coming in with something real and something tangible for you, okay? And of course, that Aries energy, that fire, that warmth is just going to further enhance Mars moving through your sign. So the Knight of Swords, of course, reflects your energy, Gemini. And it does feel, to a certain extent, you may well be struggling to almost split your energy in multiple directions through the course of this month. There may be just a lot going on, or you're having to wear many different hats or getting pulled in lots of different directions, okay? You may even be trying to decide or work through or process like different aspects of yourself. And again, that Queen of Cups is bringing in a very healing, cathartic, intuitive-led narrative that you need to be having on that basis. Now, there's something about the eclipse energy coming through here. Of course, we're working with your North Node. This is a month where you're getting more on track than ever before to what your destiny is. And I think there's going to be some really important signs that are coming through to support that for you. One of the notes, though, just about signs, of course, they're a beautiful validation, especially from Spirit, when we are looking for that guidance and that love and that warmth, the inspiration. And sometimes it's important that we recognize that all of the answers exist within us. And when we can seek our counsel, when we can understand that we don't need the external validation before we initiate a change, before we make a move, before we give ourselves permission to move forward in a specific direction, the signs can still flood in, but just give yourself permission. You be the sign that you're looking for feels important. Now, I think there's news that's coming your way, and of course the Knight of Swords brings about swift, fast change, okay? And especially with the Chariot, there is an energy of things turning around very, very quickly in certain situations. So, again, that could be a little bit upheavaling through Pisces season, as we've got all of that water energy that's just going to be pressing heavily on your emotional self. But as we come into Aries season, that same fast, swift movement is actually going to feel really invigorating and charged up. And certainly there is something about you recognizing the way in which you need to support yourself and find balance within that. That's really what that equinox energy is going to deliver. Your high priestess is holding the space. Remember, she's also linked into the sign of Pisces. There's a tremendous sense of independence that's powering forth in this reading. And so even if you are part of a wonderful partnership, there's something about you needing to find your way, find your feet, and kind of draw on that sense of inner reliance as you just come to terms and allow particularly that Mars returns to really demonstrate to you how you want to now move through the world and how that's shaping you. I think there's information that's coming to you that's going to be very revelationary in nature. I think it's important that you stand your ground, you hold your space, okay? But you are linked in powerfully to spirit through the course of this month, and I think you are commanding the energy in even more exciting ways. And so that's going to give you a sense of reassurance, it's going to give you a sense of groundedness, but it's also going to give you a really important understanding of timing, okay? The reason that I say that is that there's an observatory role that the High Priestess is making right now. Both the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, you see, are quite passive in their energy. They're not jumping in, they're not being rash, they're not being impulsive. And, during a month when we do have a lot of fire energy coming in, and there is that impetus to get going and get moving with things, we need to have it finely tuned so that we are not going off in a wildly wrong direction on that kind of goose chase, that we're actually making sure that every step that we take, every move that we make and thing that we are considering and weighing up is going to be for our highest good, not just making it in the moment now, but actually thinking ahead, because that North Node, that destined energy that you're working with is demanding that you are really thinking about the highest expression of yourself, all the way through 2021. But the need for detoxification is going to be really strong. Of course, it's a beautiful time kind of in the Northern Hemisphere, spring equinox. It's that spring clean time, very purging, very cathartic. But with the Queen of Cups and High Priestess coming through, I'm feeling the need that you need to streamline, you need to simplify, you need to be aware of what you're absorbing by way of energies, by way of, anything that's going into your body, but also what the environments and the things that you are surrounding yourself with by way of connections and people. So the Sun moves into Aries on the 20th, and then Venus is going to come into Aries on the 21st. So again, illuminating some passion-filled conversations, also making you, I think, quite impulsive by way of investments. And so taking a risk feels bold, but it also feels like it's paying off because it's bringing in more stability and something to celebrate, all right? The most wise choice in this instance, Gemini, would be to take the risk on yourself, to bet on yourself. That's not about putting your energy, your faith, your hope in another person. It's about, standing your ground, knowing what value you have to offer in a situation, and then realizing the impact that can have directly on your path, okay? Excuse me, the Four of Wands it's bringing in a much more solid foundation for you to build something. And for me, it's representative of you building a new level of emotional stability and contentment in your life. So you now have the knowledge, the intuitive guidance and awareness with which to do that. And you are going to move forward at all costs. This is a month where no one's going to stop Gemini. This is what I really feel. Like you're going to get very focused on something. And once you've got that really clear in your mind, and remember that might not come really into the forefront until we hit the equinox around the 20th, okay? But as soon as we're into that fire energy through the end of March and into April, you are going to have that synchronicity backing up what feels like the right move at the right moment, okay? And with this, there's a newfound respect that not only are you having for yourself, but you're also having for the universe and the way in which it's moved you, the way in which it has directed you, and where certain things have had to happen in a certain way, okay? So there's a lot of understanding that I feel is coming through in quite a powerful undertaking. Now, that Knight of Swords also indicates to me, because we've got the retrograde shadow energy of Mercury just in that first part of the month. So you may still be dealing with things from the past, okay? And the Moonchild energy here, this is an additional card in this deck, is suggestive that, there's something particularly around that full moon, okay, that's coming to light that we will need to address in order to be able to move forward. Now, with a special emphasis perhaps in and around relationships or partnerships, whether they be personal or professional, but understanding that everything has a cycle and everything has a time, and that you are not in the process of breaking down, you are in the process of breaking open. So that means that some of the connections, relationships will also be going through that transition, that transformational period, okay? And the more that you can understand that this is inevitable and part of the story and part of the journey, the more you will be able to make sense, to reconcile, and to come into a place of deep, profound acceptance and even forgiveness if you need it in different aspects of your own heart journey, particularly in relation to love, and how that's been playing out for you in this last chapter of your life. So March is just going to be an incredibly illuminating month for you, but also very healing by way of release. Now, let's also talk about the aspects of career and professionalism, because with that 10th house energy in Pisces, some of you are really set to see some exciting breakthroughs on that level. Here we have the Six of Pentacles, the opportunity to ask for more. So be confident and be assertive and be trusting in yourself, what you have to offer and where you stand in relation to a particular situation. New opportunities are going to start to show themselves, okay? And it's important that you keep making plans. Even if there are aspects to your life that you feel a little bit held back, do not be in any way disconnected or upheavaled by that, because everything is temporary. And the more you can focus on the next chapter, what comes next for you, it's really going to help you to balance up in different areas of your life. So if you're finding that you have been absolutely invested in work and had no time for personal life, or vice versa, there is the moment with that equinox where you're going to get a beautiful epiphany and a little bit of fate stepping in from the universe to help something change, to begin a fresh new chapter that is much more healthy by way of the energy balance that's coming in here, okay? Six of Pentacles also suggests more support coming to you altruistically, charitably, so people reaching out, people wanting to open doors for you, people seeking out your wisdom, people knowing your value. And that can translate very well for those of you professionally that are looking in the context of work or what you want to achieve in that area. But even in terms of relationships, once you make peace with something to do with the past and you realize that you don't have to keep everybody happy, there's not the splitting of the energy. This is about being more authentically you and standing in that beautiful divine energy, that feminine feminine energy, whether you're male or female. It's like really owning that sacred wisdom that is yours and letting that be what guides you forward through this month, okay? Nine of Wands. All right, so there's this energy of perseverance that we need, but it isn't coming from a place of like pushing, you know, and you're going to have to balance this carefully, because with Mars in your sign, Gemini, there's going to be times where you feel like the best way to do it is to just absolutely force it through. That isn't what's required. You can see here she's in a beautiful, gentle meditation. Her expression is open. She's channeling the wisdom to give her what it is that she needs to be able to go the final mile. The Nine of Wands is wanting you to not discredit how far you've come in any area, but also to just give you time to take stock, just to pause for a moment, to really revitalize your energy where you need it most, and then to push through. Because when you do, ultimately that's what brings this beautiful sense of celebration. And I think you're just going to be exceptionally proud of yourself, or something that happens within your path through the course of the next few weeks that is really enabling you to see the future more clearly than you ever have before, and that feels really exciting. Now, a lot of the energy here is very, very introspective. You know, her eyes are closed in both of these pictures, and then even with your High Priestess, your Queen of Cups, you know, very quiet, doing that deep soul tending through this month is going to be exceptionally valuable for you, not only now, but especially as we make our way through to your solar returns and that eclipse season that's going to be coming up in May, June of this year. So pay close attention to just the ways in which you are connecting through March, because I think it's coming in on a whole new level for you, and that feels really quite exciting. There's family situations that are being highlighted quite strongly through this reading for you, Gemini. Maybe a reevaluation or shifts and changes that are taking place, but you're certainly looking in a very empowered position in that regard. So, you know, your voice matters. Where you are directing the energy in your own life seems to have a major impact within the family, within your soul family. And so everybody benefits when you are in a place of being centered and grounded, okay? So take the time that you need and allow the healing to come through to you in the way that it's being destined by your guides and spirit at the moment. So let's just take a look and see how these oracle cards are just reflecting your main reading. Chariot energy, of course, you know, with the link to Cancer, brings a tremendous amount of ambition. And with that 10th house being lit up in Pisces, some of you, and Mars in your sign for sure, some of you might find like this really powerful ambition that's kind of either coming from nowhere or is just taking on a whole new level of meaning for you. Embrace your emotions, we have here. Allow your feelings to surface and be accepted. You know, there's going to be a conflicting myriad of emotions that I think are going to be following you through the course of March as you make your way into what the next chapter holds for you. Remember, like we said, between the ecstasy and the ache, life is going to change, but what needs to guide you is love. So, you know, this ambition to want more for yourself, you know, to not settle, to not self-sabotage, to want more in every area of your life is really going to be supported by the equinox. So make sure from a ritual perspective you're harnessing Athena, the goddess, during that new moon. Make sure you're harnessing the sun moving into Aries and really taking stock of what changes you're going to initiate, and make the plan and start to put it in motion, because that's what the Chariot is wanting from you, okay? You'll get the right timing. Pay close attention, listen and observe and be connected so that you know when the time is right to be able to move, okay? Even the unicorn here is in motion, and you're kind of hanging on, but in a quiet, sort of gentle way, you know, you're looking peaceful with it. So there is just something about allowing yourself to go with the flow of the whole process, okay? Trust that what's coming in is actually meant for you and is supposed to be bringing in deeper contentment and happiness. Okay, so your energy here is wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. And like we said, Queen of Cups and High Priestess is a little bit passive. And it is important that we know that there are all sorts of things that are conspiring right now. You know, sometimes when we feel like it has to happen now, we get really caught up with pinning all of our joy, all of our energy on the outcome of that thing happening in that way at that time. And it's just not how the universe works. It has a bigger plan. There's a greater plan that's in flow and in flux at the moment. And as long as you are tuned into your energy and your pathway, forget about what anyone else is doing. Let that go. Don't mirror or try to compare yourself right now. There's a very specific soul path for you, and there's something incredibly important about the timing of this month that is really going to reveal itself strongly for you. Gemini is a general reading. I hope you've enjoyed listening. If you want to tune in for the extended version, I'm going to go ahead and just pull some additional cards here. I'm going to invite you to just think about a question that might not have come out in the main spread, and we'll go ahead and pull a couple of cards. You can find the link for the description in the description box in the comment section for the extended reading. It's just a way to support my work on the channel, as well as just to get some deeper messages, and thank you so much for doing that. So just think about your question now for me. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just clarify this main reading, okay? Just beginning with the energy of the Queen of Cups. And we're coming in with the Seven of Feathers. Now the feathers represents the energy of air. So this is the Seven of Swords, okay? A little bit of self-trust coming through here. There we have the Knight of Acorns, which represents fire energy. So that's your Knight of Wands. And I love the combination and the conversation that's going to take place between that Knight and the Chariot. You know, there's movement here. It's beautiful. You have to trust what's coming in here. Justice showing up. Again, linking into the sign of Libra. So very specific unfoldings happening around that full moon for you. We also have the Eight of Wands coming in. Again, messages, things happening quickly. Three of Wands. This is the Spirit Song Tarot deck. All beautiful animals here. We have the King of Cups, so it could well be a water sign energy, this person. Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. We have the Empress energy with that Ten of Cups. Beautiful. And the Star. Look at that. Beautiful healing, abundant energy coming through there for you. Okay, so Ace of Swords coming in with that Knight of Swords. I really think this is about needing to be honest with yourself about something, just so that you can reconcile something from the past. The Emperor. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups coming in with the High Priestess, the energy of strength. And a High Priestess again, beautiful. There is no doubt of the way you are being guided this month, Gemini. Four of Crystals is like the Four of Pentacles, and then we have the energy of Temperance. The Tower coming through here, and the Eight of Cups. Powerful release and closing of a chapter. Ace of Wands, but brand new beginnings coming in. There's been something really poignant about this theme of sun setting and sun rising in areas of our life through the month of March. And the readings that have come up so far this month. We've got the Magician here. We've got another Ace coming in, the Ace of Cups. Taking care of yourself is important this month. Wheel of Fortune coming in. It's the energy of the Fool with the Traveler here. Two of Swords. World, beautiful. Okay, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you beautiful blessings for this month. If you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to continuing this conversation with you. You take good care. Bye for